What's up, y'all? Y'all already know the name, Pays and Plays Podcast here. Gonna be giving y'all upset alerts for week two. I think this segment last week was pretty good. It was kind of interesting. Some things went our way, some things didn't because of backdoor covers and all that what craps, right? Block punts and return for kicks, pick sixes. Sound like the Titans, right? That was the one. That was the one right there, man. But I didn't mention two games. So my apologies for not mentioning that from the last video, doing the whole week thing. That's shame on me. I can hold myself for that. And we'll talk about one line adjustment that just came after I got done recording the previous video. Literally just happened. But let's start with the two 4 o'clock games that I didn't mention. We're going to start with the Rams visiting Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Cardinals -1.5. This is the upset alert, I guess. Rams to win the cover. The Rams just, bro, they look good, bro. Listen, I know they lost a hard fought game to the Lions, but that was a grind out game. They came all the way back. We don't know what's gonna happen with Puka, but even if it's just Cooper Cup, we saw what they were able to do. They were able to run the ball too, which that's very key for the Rams. The defense wasn't bad either. Young team on defense, but they contribute. They came right away. Jared First looking very good. And the Cardinals, I like Murray. But now I'm going to say it's y'all defense because you blew a 17-3 lead. Right, crazy. Rams came back from a 17-3 lead and lost in overtime, though. Cardinals was up 17-3 and not only almost blew the whole cover, but they came back, thankfully, for that kick, that dynamic, that's what they call it, the dynamic kick return. So thankfully for that, they kept it close. And obviously them having the ball with, seconds left of the clock. But I just think in this game, the Rams with McVay and him, trust me, bro, I think they win this game, bro. So give me the Rams in a slight upset. And the next one, we have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Chiefs is -6 point favorites. I got the Bengals to cover, Chiefs to win. I just think Burrowhead keeps this game close, man. After the shitty performance, which I kind of expected from last week, I mean, is T. Higgins going to play? I think that's really the thing. The run game is a little. I mean, I like Zach Moss, but they're a little iffy on the run game. The defense did what they were supposed to do. Honestly, I will say that against New England, they held them to 13 points or something like that, or 16 points. So it wasn't like they scored that much anyway. So with Kansas City, we just know they don't cover these big type of numbers. And I just expect Burrow to have a good game. I'm not saying he's going to win, but when it comes to Kansas City, the games are usually close when it's Joe Burrow as quarterback. So give me the Bengals to cover, but I'll take the Chiefs to win. And now we'll go to the whole overall slate. No, one more thing I didn't mention, like I said, line adjustment. The Commanders just went from -2.5 to -1.5. I'm definitely taking the Commanders here. I don't see the Giants upset nobody. Not with Danny Pennies as quarterback. So yeah, take what I said from the week two spread video, and now add a little bit more to that. Now that they -1.5, I definitely will be taking the Commanders, even with the rookie quarterback. All right, now Bucks +7 against the Lions. Yes, I'm taking the Bucks +7. I know the Lions are now a favorite, right? I mean, they won. They won Sunday night, a hard fought win. They did barely cover. That's why I said just take Lions on the money line. I don't know about 3.5. I think at one point it was at 5 before the game started, right? So that closing line value was crazy. But this is a team that's never been in this pedestal to where they're a Super Bowl contender. So when you are a Super Bowl contender, a lot of times you are now the favorite. And you being a 7 point favorite to a team that, yeah, last year you beat them in the playoffs. You beat them in the regular season. But there's problems still with the Lions that I want to get in depth to this video about that I'm taking the 7 with the Bucks. Your secondary still is not good. Aaron Glenn, oh, Aaron Glenn, he's a good defensive. No, he's not. You are a corner, an all pro corner, and you're supposed to be specialty in secondary. And I will say this, you got two good safeties, and you're lucky Brian Branch can be a hybrid between safety and corner. So you're lucky you got that. But your corners, you're like I mentioned, you're relying on rookie corners, and Carlton Davis was a little shaked up too. It's going to be some pains, man, because Cooper Cup, he had a nice stat line. Puka Nukuka, before he had got hurt, had a nice stat line. And listen, this Lions team got ran on a little bit when it mattered. Tampa Bay can run the ball a little bit more. We saw what Mike Evans can do against the Lions in the playoffs. He was the reason why they were in that game. Mike Evans looked like he has not lost a step. And Chris Godwin is right there behind him. I mean, listen, bro, I think Baker Mayfield, as much as I've talked about, I thought he would regress. He did come in slanging hot off rip. And, we usually don't see that from Baker Mayfield. So, close game. I'll pick the Lions to win, but I'm going with Tampa Bay with the +7. +7 is too many points. Next game. Let's talk about Browns Jags. Browns Jags here. Browns +3.5. Uh, is Deshaun Watson going to wake the hell up? I think that's just really the biggest question mark, right? The Browns defense didn't have a good game. Garrett got really shut down. This is the first time we can say he got shut down by rookie tackles. But that was a great game plan from McCarthy. So you got to give McCarthy his props on that. But this O line for the Jags is putrid. We saw how Miami eventually, you know, I mean, that D line don't have much of experience like that, and they were able to make plays. So I'm expecting Miles Garrett to just cause ruckus. If he calls ruckus in this game, as long as Deshaun Watson is average, bro, dude can do. If you go one touchdown, one interception, as long as they move the ball down the field, bro, as long as there's a couple touchdowns, some field goals, they should be able to win this game against the Jaguars, bro. It's really on Deshaun, bro, because that performance was just awful against the Cowboys with him. I have to almost think I think he's pretty much damn near done in his league. Next one. Yeah, I'll talk about it. Why not? Panthers, Chargers. Panthers got blew the hell out first game with Canales, the head coach. Chargers successfully won against, the Raiders with Harbaugh. Listen, this Panthers team, I always say this. When you get blew out, you usually do better the next week. And this is what I'm pretty much thinking. But it's really up to Bryce Young too, right? Because, bro, he just looks scared in the pocket, bro. Like, I know he's not in Alabama no more, and that's probably what it is too. When you are around other good caliber talent players, you usually feel comfortable, and it's not really much you got to do. But they need to. I don't think they win this game. I might be going overboard trying to vouch for the Panthers, but 6.5 is a lot when you look at it. And this defense, man, this defense should probably be more woke up than the offense. I always expect the defenses to be a little bit more better than the offense in the first few weeks ahead. Panthers defense didn't do nothing, but I think they didn't expect Derek Carr to go crazy either, though. So if they can at least contain that run game from the Chargers, which that is what got the Chargers going last week, if they can kind of contain that to a degree, then I think they have at least a dire chance to win this game. Next game, we are going to be talking about the Las Vegas Raiders +9.5. Yes, they play Baltimore. 9.5 is a lot of points. When you have a good D line, I mean, Crosby and Wilkes didn't play a bad game. They played a hell of a game, especially that first half. Oh, Crosby was in the backfield every other play. And that's the type of guy you need with Wilkes, especially when you got Lamar that can run out the pocket and Now, other than that, right? We know the linebacker core is mid, and the secondary for the Raiders is not it. So I think that's the caution part. But with the Ravens, I already said it, man. You got to get Derrick Henry more involved in this game. Is because I don't want to have to really make my point on this guy this year that he's washed. I hope he's not. But if I'm right, then I'm right on that one. And I just think the Ravens need to wake up. Because now you got to worry. Look, you couldn't handle Xavier Worthy and Rasheed Rice. So you think you're going to be able to handle Devontae Adams? And Devontae Adams got his against the Chargers. Best believe you could watch the game. He got his stats against the Chargers. If you can handle Worthy, bro, I have concerns about you having to deal with Devontae Adams. Unless you're going to have Kyle Hamilton somewhere around the area making sure he ain't doing what he got to do. But I will say this, though. If you do like the Ravens, take it in a 7-point teaser, drop it down and make it 2.5. Make it easy for your mental. And lastly, we'll talk about one more game, and then I'll tell you who I think will win outright. So the Steelers, they're -3, but they're going on the road to Mile High. We know how hard it is to play at Mile High. That altitude. I think Mile High is really the only real home field advantage because, you're out in that altitude. And if you're not playing in Denver or you're not in the AFC West, you're not just familiar with that altitude. But this game here, though, Steelers didn't score a touchdown last week. They scored 6 field goals. We'll take it because I did take Steelers money line. We'll take that. But Denver has been shown to score even when they had Bo Nix as a rookie, and it was kind of tough. They got that push last minute at 6, depending on whatever you got the number. Either you won or you lost. But they moved the ball with Bo Nix, and they scored with Bo Nix. Justin Fields, look, I just hope Russell Wilson isn't playing. I would rather have Justin Fields play again because they're going to mix the run and they're only going to pass when they need to pass. But you see, when it was like 3rd and 2, what they do with Justin Fields, shotgun, look around, do a draw, first down, give it to Harris, a couple plays. I mean, the game plan was it was good because what I think Pittsburgh mindset is going to be is, listen, as the defense, we got this. We need you to at least score 3, 7 points every here and there. We'll do the rest. And that is what Pittsburgh did against the Falcons. Now, granted, it was a big home field advantage technically to the extent with the Steelers because it was a ton of Pittsburgh fans there. And when I did say this, when you got TJ Watt, you saw what he did against the Falcons. You're always in the game when he's in the game. And I think that's the only concern with the Broncos. They just don't have the defense. So I feel like eventually Pittsburgh has to score a touchdown, right? And I think this might be the week, but this game is dangerous because it's the fact that it's at Mile High. And if you give me the teams to win outright as an underdog, obviously I said Rams. They're a slight underdog. So if I were you, go ahead and get that number now, or you can wait till it goes to the money line or plus. I think it was like -103, -104. So the money line is kind of in, but you rather do that to take a +1.5, right? I'd rather just pick them to win. So I would say Rams, Browns. I say possibly the Buccaneers because I told you about the. And let me mention something about the Lions too that I didn't really mention. Time management when it comes to MCDC, that's a problem because they were up 17. Was it 17-3 against the Rams? And it was all off running a rock, and then they stopped running the ball and they just kept passing. You look at it, once the Rams scored one touchdown, they wanted to start passing. I know I'm not crazy for realizing that because he did this against the 49ers, and look how that happened, right? So that's also a concern is really the coaching management for MCDC because that can creep up on you. If I'm up a big lead, I'm running a rock. I only throwing the ball on 3rd down, call it a day, right? So that is my upset alert for week 2. You guys like the content, pass the word around. You guys already know. Let's get this money out here and let's be safe.